Welcome back, everybody. Second video in the series here on this Yamaha natural sound receiver that we've got here on the bench today. Hopefully we will wrap this one up fairly quickly, because if you'll remember, it's just a simple matter of putting in some lights here. I was extremely happy to see that we got these little replacement bulbs, and they're green, and they came with the little holders for them. So tell you what, we're going to start out by putting these four here into the holder, and if you'll remember, they went along the back side here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go ahead and put one in here, and I bet all four of those light up. We're going to test that out, then we'll move to installing the others. Okay, we've installed the missing bulb here. If you notice, they did not light up. You can see along here. So that's kind of a bummer, but I do have 31.8 volts or so sitting over here on these two pins. So apparently we've got another bulb out. This is like the old Christmas tree lights on your tree, or bulbs. When one goes out, none of them work. So let's chase down the other one. Okay, I kind of took the easy way out. Instead of pulling my meter out and testing every bulb, I just went ahead and replaced all four of them since they came in a 4-pack. And as you can see here now, we have light all the way along the bar. So we've got that side solved, and we got these three bulbs over here now, and I'll test them and find out which one was the bad one, and we'll hang on to the other two, because you never know when this guy may need a spare, or the the next customer. Okay, up next we're going to replace the lights on the front panel, and if you'll notice, there's 4 stubs down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all have wires wrapped around them using a wire wrap tool. And I have a tool that does both wire wrap and kind of unwrapping of wire. It looks like this, and it has 2 different ends to it, one for wire wrap and one for wire unwrap. And you basically put the handle on the end that you're not using here, and you screw it down into the nice little case that it has, like this. And then you use this end, come over here, kind of drop down on these things, and then you start doing this, and it'll work its way all the way down. And as you notice, pulled out the whole entire wire this way. I get a lot of questions about that on some of my Marantz videos. Marantz would wrap them on, but then they soldered them. So using the wire wrap removal tool like this, not quite as simple once those things have been soldered on there. You have to take a couple different approaches. Okay, so I'm really still scratching my head on this one. These bulbs are supposed to be 14 volts roughly, and you know, there's one of those in there. And the other 3 here are LEDs, which are nowhere near 14 volts. Probably more in the 2 volt range, if even that. And then they were all plugged into the little green holders. And here's the new ones we have to replace them with. So I'm going to get busy putting these things in. You can see kind of the curly Q ends down here on all these where I unwrapped them with the wire wrap tool. Somebody asked me where to get one of these one time, and they're easy enough to find. I will tell you this one, it's from OK Industries, www.jonerd.com. You can also find them on eBay, Amazon, whatnot, but seems like it's about 12 or 15 bucks, and these are really good ones to have. Okay, up next we've got to remove 4 screws here, 1 on the top, 2 in the middle here, and then 1 down here on this end. And once you get that done, you can kind of take this off, pull it back, and then what I've done here is this little thing snaps up and around this. It's just a plastic snap-on cover, and when you pull this back, the metal, this little plastic carriage kind of opens up. And then if you'll bend this little tab back right here with a pair of needle nose pliers, then you can actually take this wire and pull it out, and you get the little bulb, and they have it. Believe it or not, underneath this bulb is a little green. Underneath this green cover is a bulb, so you need to actually pop the little green cover off there to put on the next bulb. Okay, you can see here I've taken the little green rubber thing off. Online they call them green condoms. And you basically roll it off of this bulb and roll it onto this bulb, and I've cut these two lengths to be about the same. And I've kind of snipped these wires off right here on the other side of this little arm that swings back and forth. And I'll end up putting just a little bit of heat shrink tape on that when I solder it back on. Alright, you can see here, coming out of the little articulating arm here, I've got the red wire and the white wire both soldered now to the black wires. Good thing about light bulbs, for those of you that might be kind of new to electronics, there's no positive or negative polarity on light bulbs, so it wouldn't have mattered if I got those wires switched around the other way. And you can see I'd already slid the heat shrink tubing up on here. Now it'll be just a simple matter of sliding it down and over and down a little bit onto the white wire, and then using the heat shrink gun to heat that up. Okay, take a look at how nice and neat that turned out. Coming out of the arm, and you've got the two heat shrink soldered connections coming up to the bulb, and now we can feed the bulb up into this container here, kind of do the wire wrap thing, and we will have the dial indicator light all lit up at that point in time. Okay, up next what I've done is I've mixed up some 2-part epoxy. This is 5-minute quick cure epoxy from Bob Smith Industries. Really good stuff. 2 bottles of this is about $11, $12, and it'll last a long time. As you can see, I put 2 parts here, mixed it together. I have this little screwdriver that I always use for epoxy. It's got just about the right size tip, and it's easy to hold in my hand. It's really small, as you can see. And what I've done is I've taken a dab and I brought it over here, and I've put it back on here where I broke the original glue loose on both sides of this little thing. I just don't want it coming loose later. And I'd rather glue it and walk away for 20 minutes and come back and let the glue be dried. But I was going to tell you can get this stuff. I use it for a lot of different things, but you can get it on Amazon and have it at your door if you've got Prime in 2 days. Or if you want to buy some locally, Hobby Lobby stores all around the country sell it back in the section with the model cars. So if you go find that, you can get the, they sell both the 5-minute and the 30-minute, and it's pretty cheap stuff. I think it's about the same, about $11 or $12. And if you'll notice now, we have lights coming down from above up here. Ooh, I got this camera is tough to keep in focus, I'm finding out. But you can see the dial indicator is nice and lit up now, so one problem solved. Alright, got the unit all powered up and rewired. Let me show you what I had to do. It's not the easiest or funnest job I've ever done, but you can see they turned out pretty good. They glow pretty green with the lights off. With the lights on, they kind of hard to see, but these were always like that, even new from the factory. Okay, because all the wires leads coming from each of the 4 wires that came in this kit were too short to make it back to the pins. And the way these worked is that this pin on the very end here, I kind of drew it out here. It's the plus 30, and this one down here is at ground, and then you kind of series the bulbs in between these pins. Was the way it was designed down here. But what I did was I kind of came in on one side and ran to the end plug down here, and then I kind of series to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, etc. And that's the nice little wire that moves back and forth on this arm as the as you can see, as you kind of turn the dial back and forth, it moves along. But as you can see, I got a couple of wires down in here, and I heat shrink tubed the end of them. Not quite as neat a job as I would have liked to have done, but I couldn't really come up with another solution, because if I would have added wire length to each of the bulbs and then ran it back here, it would have been just as ugly. But all in all, it turned out really well. I don't think it's too bad. And you know, I'll tell you, I personally don't like this design. I do not like putting bulbs in series. You just you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. I mean, you know, when one of these bulbs goes out, all 4 of them go out. The same with the top ones. And you know, at that point you have no choice but kind of take it to a technician, because it's not as simple as plugging or unplugging a bulb. And you know, you're gonna have to pay somebody a good, I mean, I've got a good hour and a half worth of labor in this thing right now, and I'll probably just end up charging the customer an hour's worth of labor plus the parts. But it's not a trivial task to swap out the bulbs in these things, whereas, you know, some of the other units, Marantz and whatnot, can be a little quicker. The Marantz ones are actually harder to get to, but they a little easier, and you can replace one. You can have one bulb die, not the whole string. So, thanks everybody for watching this video. Hopefully you learned a little something. You can kind of see the mess of old wires I've got over here now. But I think it turned out well, and we'll get this back to the customer, and I'm sure they'll be happy with it. Thanks everybody.